It's been quite the day for Habs defense prospects as they finally signed defenseman Jayden Struble out of the NCAA, and Hutson wins Rookie of the Year in his conference. I'll be talking about that, plus the Habs leading scorers since the new year are maybe not who you expect, and finally we'll top it all off with a bit of a Juraj Slafkovsky update, so you won't want to miss this edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome. From my hotel room in Montreal, I'm your host, Josh Gosse, and before we get into the video, reminder to hit that subscribe button. We just passed 4,300 subscribers. For those of you that tuned in or watched the live stream after the game the other day, thank you very much. It was a ton of fun. Glad a bunch of you could be there to watch it. As yeah, today we're going to do a news episode. Tried to time things with Jesse. Unfortunately, our schedules just won't line up until I get back to Newfoundland tomorrow, so there should be a video from me and him tomorrow, and if not, at the latest Friday, so just a little heads up for you guys. But let's get into the news today. Number one topic is the Habs signed Jayden Struble, and I know there's been a lot of speculation online. I've seen some videos saying should they, or will they, or won't they sign Jayden Struble. Well, today it's official. The Canadiens have agreed to terms on a 2-year entry-level contract, 2023-24 to 2024-25, with defenseman Jayden Struble. Now, for those of you who don't know a whole lot about Jayden Struble, Hockey Junkie just made a video very recently, so I'd suggest go checking that out. He always brings some nice comedy, but some great information to Jayden Struble. But Jayden Struble is a 6-foot, 21-year-old defenseman who played at Northeastern University this year on the same team as Kent Hughes' kid, and he was drafted number 46 overall by Montreal in one of the previous drafts. He's sort of at 6 foot he plays, I feel like, a little bigger than he actually is. The great thing about Jayden Struble is that he is elite in transition. I saw his player card showing he has a 98 grade in transition defense. He's sort of a defensive specialist while still potting a goal and 12 assists in just over 30 games this year at Northeastern University. So Jayden Struble, you know, there's a lot of question marks around whether he'll play for the Habs in the next couple of years. We have heard that he is heading to Laval for the rest of the season and probably will start there next year, simply because the Habs have such a backlog on left-handed defensemen right now with the likes of Arber, Xhekaj, Jordan Harris, Mike Matheson, Joel Edmundson. There's a lot of guys ahead of Jayden Struble in that pecking order, but with his play at Northeastern this year, and the fact that the Habs really need another shutdown defenseman to go along with someone like, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention Kaiden Guhle. That's 5 left-handed defensemen: Harris, Guhle, Edmundson, Matheson, Xhekaj. So anyway, and then we go on to say, like, the Habs really don't have a huge shutdown guy. David Savard is probably the closest, but Jayden Struble could really fit the mold of this team, so it'll be very interesting to see how he plays in Laval and whether or not Montreal decides to bring him up in the next year or two, because he's a very interesting prospect, and I think you guys should keep an eye on him, and we'll keep you updated on his status. Speaking of left-handed Habs defenseman prospects, boy, do we have a lot of them. Someone's going to need to get moved or something, but hey, we got another Hutson award. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we speak about Hutson way too much on this show. Straight up, way too much. But hey, he won another award, and this is a big one. He won Rookie of the Year for Hockey East, announcing the 2022-23 Hockey East Rookie of the Year, Hutson. I mean, that's no surprise to anyone at all who was watching Hutson, who was watching any Hockey East hockey. This guy led the conference in scoring as a rookie and as a defenseman, the first rookie to lead it in scoring, I think, since Jack Eichel, and the first defenseman ever to do it. It's no surprise that he won Rookie of the Year. He was a finalist for Player of the Year. Unfortunately, he lost that Hockey East Player of the Year to Devon Levi, another fantastic goalie who has been linked to Montreal in some trade talks. So maybe we'll save the speculation on that. But Devon Levi and Hutson have had fantastic seasons in that conference, with Hutson winning Rookie of the Year, and both of them are top 10 Hobey Baker finalists. Of course, Hobey Baker being the trophy for the best NCAA college hockey player, an award Caufield won just a couple of years ago, and it's cool to see another Habs prospect right up there now. Him versus Levi. Levi had an insane year, insane year at Northeastern, so he a teammate of Jayden Struble, of course, but man, so those guys have been playing amazing. But Hutson, top 10 Hobey Baker finalist, Rookie of the Year for his conference. We couldn't be any happier. Let's move on to sort of an interesting one here today. I saw this post on Reddit. Habs leading scorers are surprising. I think it was posted by someone named Habs27 or something similar on Reddit, showing the Habs scoring leaders, just total points since the new year, since January 1st, 2023. And let's have a look at this. So you see Nick Suzuki at the top, 19 points in 31 games. But someone else who's tied with him, 19 points in just 24 games, Jonathan Drouin. 19 points in 24 games. He was on an absolute tear for the months of February and March. It felt like he was getting an assist every single game, and I gotta say, he's looked a lot better as of late. And just below him, the likes of Josh Anderson, by far the team's leading goal scorer in the new year. 12 goals in just 31 games in the new year. For 18 points in 31 games, Josh Anderson has turned into a beast, and let me tell you that when I watched him just the other night in Montreal, Josh Anderson and Mike Matheson, number 3 and 5 on this list respectively, I mean, those guys looked like they were completely dominant. I mean, Josh Anderson, on an 82-game pace, if he were to keep that up, 12 goals in 31 games, that's over 30 goals in a season. He has over 20 now. I think he can hit 25. We got some interesting looks down there. Of course, Kirby Dach, 12 and 17 at number 8. Some interesting guys, Raphael Harvey-Pinard, Mike Hoffman, maybe more than you'd expect. But the big one I wanted to focus on, Josh Anderson, number 1, purely for his goal scoring. He's turned into what looks like a 30-goal scorer over the past month or two. He has looked phenomenal. But Jonathan Drouin, a guy who a lot of people have given up on, and yeah, maybe he deserves a change of scenery. That's the opinion that we've kind of held on this channel. But I gotta say, watching him play recently, he seems to have a new confidence. I don't know if Kent Hughes is even going to make him an offer come this summer, but who knows how much he'll get offered, whether it's by Montreal or another team. But all the same, it feels pretty good to see Jonathan Drouin playing this well, and for his sake, I hope that continues. Final topic today, a little bit of a fun one. Juraj Slafkovsky is finishing up his high school exams. So, you know, we haven't had a whole lot of Juraj Slafkovsky content, of course, since he went out with that injury. He'll be out, it looks like, the rest of the season. I mean, there has been basically no update. I know it wasn't officially the rest of the season when it happened. It was 3 months, which would have given him like a few weeks window to maybe come back. But considering we haven't heard an update, I don't expect to see him. But what we have seen is he has returned to Slovakia. Now, I'm not going to try and pronounce this in Slovakian, but what this essentially translates to is that Juraj Slafkovsky, the Habs' most recent pick in the draft, the number 1 overall guy, has returned to Slovakia, and I think this was the written portion of his language exams, I believe, in Slovakia. You can see the handsome fellow there in the back. Juraj Slafkovsky finishing up what he needs to do in high school. And yeah, so just some Juraj Slafkovsky news. It's cool that he's finally finishing up his schooling, right? Juraj Slafkovsky is still, I think, only 18 years old. I don't even know if he's 19 yet, but he is a phenom in Slovakia. And for you Slovakian viewers, I'm sure a lot of you are watching this, and you probably saw a Slafkovsky chapter, and I'm sure you're watching at least this part of the video. Let me know, how popular is Juraj in Slovakia? I've heard some people say he's essentially a superstar already. Pretty much all of you 5+ million people living there know who Juraj Slafkovsky is. So let me know what kind of a cultural impact Slafkovsky has had since being drafted number 1, and how many people are tuned into what he's doing, because it sure seems like everyone seems to love him, right? And for good reason. Slafkovsky is such a fun guy, first overall pick, so much expectation, playing in Montreal, maybe the best hockey city, definitely the best hockey city in the world. So really cool to see that. Hope he does really well in his exams, and I cannot wait to see him back in the Bleu, Blanc et Rouge come this fall. But that'll do it for this news edition of Habs Digest. If you guys enjoyed, leave a comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Help us hit 5,000 subscribers. Next video isn't going to be as scuffed as this one. This is just in a hotel room with another phone lighting my face from there. But the audio quality should be good. I still have my microphone here. So, yeah, let me know if this video was good, whether you guys liked it or not. But hopefully we'll be back in the normal setup soon. By the way, little topper to this video. This is the hat that Caufield designed. I'm sure you guys have seen that in commercials. Bought it at the Centre Bell. Pretty sweet hat, gotta say. So let me know if you like this as well, if you're sticking around here. I'm your host, Josh Gosse. We'll catch you in the next one.